the Pioneer era of pre-rendered, to where like you'll see this and you'll be like, wow, this still looks really good. Then it goes to the game and you go, ugh.
Well, yeah. Well, I know like the big issue that was in the gaming community, if I believe, or if I remember correctly.
We return to the last story, and the Gurak have attacked.
Gurak attack?
Yeah, Gurak attack. All right, come on, Calista. We're going to take back our kingdom.
Do you think they chant before they jump down into like the areas they're attacking, where half of them go Gurak and the other half go attack, and then they just
Gurak attack, Gurak.
And then they just like they like jump down, because I mean that's what I would do if I was their captain.
Yeah, could definitely be on board with that. Oh my.
Let's move.
Got a commando, we got some fighters. Oh, we got a Lazulis mage to aid us. Alright, cool. Let's make sure they don't die in battle. The mage is only level 10.
You said that, and my brain just went, "Oh, Master Robin, you've lost your arms in battle."
Growing some nice boobs, though.
Lady Calista. It's still dangerous.
Alright. He's not a permanent party member. He's just going to aid us in a couple battles. And then
Yeah.
until we get to the A-team.
Just need to get through the Great Hall and
Find the rest of the gang.
Everything's on fire.
Just like, this is fine.
So I
Uh-oh.
like
Oh, shit. Maybe this isn't fine.
that is the tattoo I wanted behind my knee to fill in the space, is to say this is fine.
Oh, yeah?
This is fine. Because I say it all the time.
Yeah.
I say that and no worries. No worries. When in fact I'm full of many worries.
Nah, I like this guy. This is my favorite character.
King?
It's the king of the
You're
Gurak.
the king of the Gurak?
I like his design. I like his voice. I like his dialogue. I like his theme.
Won't let you get away
It's all
with
good
this.
stuff.
It ends right now.
I like that he reminds me of Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda.
For sure.
There's probably that, too.
Just a wee bit.
Lady, please escape while you can. Filthy.
Yeah, this is Zangurak, king of the Gurak.
The ones who should escape. You can't hope to beat him.
Gurak. What's Gurak-a-lackin'?
He doesn't even have a weapon. His solution is just punch things. And these are his loyal advisors.
They have such pretty hair.
I think they're witchers. Because they kind of have that
Yeah.
kind of like long silver hair.
Well, that's only Geralt.
Oh, true. I think I was
Which is
thinking
why
of
he's-
Drows from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
There's
So
this
that's-
very famous drow. His name's like Drizzt, I think it is.
Okay.
And he's in this series of books. I think it's like The Thousand Orcs, The Lone Drow, stuff like that. Really good books. And like he's just like a famous anti-hero kind of character.
Okay.
And like they're a type of dark elf.
Okay. But yeah, I was gonna say that's why Geralt's called the White Wolf,
Okay.
because he has white hair.
Oh. What about Vesemir? It's just
Vesemir's
gray.
just old.
It's just old. Okay.
Sail. Wake up.
Ah, Dagrin. A little late, but at least you're here.
Sight for sore eyes. He's got kind of like a creepy smile. Hello.
Hello. Alright, so Zangurak took off with Lady Calista. We got to get her back.
I arrived, it was just you here.
Why would you have a badass cool name like Calista and choose to go by Lisa?
Take it easy.
She doesn't go by Lisa, that was just her alias, so like people that know Lady Calista aren't just like, it's the princess.
But like it makes sense. Calista, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
Like-
protect her.
That's just her alias when she leaves the castle.
Gotcha. Because I'm still playing here.
Oh, you
Yeah,
were at this
I
point?
I did do this.
Okay. So you got to meet Zangurak, King of
Yes.
the Gurak.
So we headed to the coast.
How do we get there?
Like I said, in this event, you meet my least favorite character and my favorite character.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Both villains.
Just
Calm down. This way.
I'm usually drawn to the villain, sometimes the main character, and sometimes just like a side character that really steals the show.
Yeah.
Sahad.
I love Sahad. He just he's the one that has the most personality.
Okay.
So we're talking about Ys 8 and
Because of course we are.
yeah. I genuinely it's become my new favorite game.
My favorite character in I Am Setsuna. It's between an IDR and Aeterna.
I'm Aeterna all the
You're
way.
Aeterna all the way?
She's
Alrighty.
sassy. I think that's the thing. I like characters that are relatable,
Mm-hmm.
that have a lot of personality.
I can get behind that.
Whereas
Whereas sometimes I just like the character that looks cool, says little,
Yeah.
does much. The Darth Maul.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons that I would like a character, because I mean,
Like, Adol isn't chatty, but he's a really cool character.
yeah, and he still has a lot of personality.
Yes.
My favorite is when he sits there real awkward, and then they're like, "Oh, have a drink," and then you can choose I don't drink or I've had enough or use something like that, and he's just sitting there so awkward, and everyone just turns to look at him like, "What?" And he his eyes just get real big, and he's like, It's just funny.
Upgrading my weapons right now.
Because I don't necessarily think you have to have a lot of dialogue to have a lot of personality. Because
I agree.
Link is the perfect example for that.
Yeah.
He has a character, he has a lot of personality, but he doesn't talk.
You haven't even played Wind Waker, which I
Yeah.
feel that and Skyward Sword, he has the most personality.
Yeah. Just with facial expressions and movements and things like that, just offer a lot of personality. But Sahad is just funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, it took my morning dump, I'm ready to go. Just Jesus Christ, Sahad.
Always be your true self.
I can't believe they're here already. What
Got
are the
archers
patrols
and
doing?
sorcerers this time.
Stay focused.
Alright. Got a Lazulis healer, a Lazulis knight, and Dagran's with us. So we have hope. Watch me chuck this ball. Fuck! I hit the pillar! I was like, watch this, I'm gonna chuck this bomb and it's gonna detonate all of them.
Hits wall. God damn it.
Oh, well. So the other day, while we were working on the guide for revisions,
Yes.
I played the soundtrack to the last story.
Yeah,
That way you
I
could
really
actually hear
like
it.
the soundtrack.
Okay. You could
'cause
actually
it is
hear it
very,
outside of the game
orchestral.
itself. Mm-hmm.
Because I have a feeling things that are really orchestral and they have a full song, I tend to really like, even if I don't associate it with playing the game.
Gotcha.
Whereas music kind of like Kirby, or even Link's Awakening, where it has that sense of loop to keep playing as the game plays.
Yes.
It's very repetitive. It doesn't have the climax of a song and then the decrescendo where it tapers off. I tend to like those more when I've played the game and I can associate it with the game.
Gotcha.
But things like this that are very orchestral and it sounds like a piece
Yeah.
where it's not just gonna loop. I tend to really like those.
They do, but they're cleverly put
It's-
together.
yeah.
When you get the upper hand, another part of the song
Right,
comes
will
in.
come
When
back.
the enemy gets the upper hand,
So
The song
it
kinda
is
dips.
more fluid. It's not as repetitive, which I tend to like outside of associating it with something else.
no, I can.
But
get
yeah, I
behind
really
that,
liked. I
definitely.
did notice that. I did really like the
Because then
music.
you have Origami King, which is a blend of the two. Some
Yeah.
songs are very triumphant and
Yeah.
they evolve, and then other songs are repetitive.
Yeah. And it's the ones I tend to listen to the most are the orchestral pieces. So Autumn Mountain,
Yeah.
Shogun Studios, where it's just the full piece of music.
Yeah, it's full, but it's short. The Shogun Studios one.
Yeah.
Because like
I
it's
think my-
synced to a cutscene. Because that's the downfall, not the downfall, but a detriment to games. Is like unlike a cinema, you can't have a piece associate to gameplay because you can't predict what that player is going to do unless you script that event almost like a cutscene. Then the music can complement it.
Which that's what the music in that game tends to do. So like the songs like Autumn Mountain play during cutscenes when you get, when you first get there. It plays when you're not playing or when you have to go a certain direction where there's no option to like go somewhere else. But no, I definitely like those a lot better than like the tingy old school. But again, I have nothing to associate that with. So it's like if I associate it, I'd probably enjoy it more. But I'm just like, okay, like it's fun, it's nostalgic, but it like
So what's up, Dagrin?
it doesn't hit me like music hits me.
I got you. Well, even retro games weren't always just like blippy and repetitive because like they experimented. I showed you with Super Adventure Island.
Yeah.
It kind of had like almost like a smooth jazz.
Yeah, it had kind of like some reggae, some smooth jazz. Like
composers
it does
definitely experiment.
And it's not so much the vibe of the music, it's the actual sound.
Okay.
So it's like and that's just technology improvements and stuff because I know a lot of these
also a lot of these
musics
consoles
are-
couldn't play like actual CD quality. That was a big deal when
Yeah.
the PlayStation came out.
Well, because I also know like a lot of these musics and stuff are still computer generated. You don't have an orchestra sitting there. It's still fake.
Yeah.
But just because technology has improved, it sounds better.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's even in like Trials of Mana, there's one, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's like there's like a cymbal crash that I'm just like, it sounds so fake.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mesh with everything else the way like live music would mesh.
Yeah.
But that's the case with a lot of like the older games is like, oh, this is a quote piano unquote, and it doesn't mesh with the other sounds because they're being played separately.
Ooh, check this out. He's like riding a triceratops or something. Come here, big boy. Mounted on your dinosaur.
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 But it's the same issue I have with that music that you have with like the Disney live action music, where they're played separately and then put together in post.
Yeah.
So there's just something missing.
Yeah, something funky.
And that's kind of how I feel about like the old music that's put together. Like it still sounds nice, but it's just there's something missing where it's like
something just a little off.
Yeah, the charisma of the song is just not quite there.
Gotcha. Whereas
they've improved with that too, of like making things sound way better even though they're played separately. Where it still has like the little bit of soul in it.
Okay.
But
see, I have a lot of factors to like why I listen to game music. There's some that like actually sound good. There's nostalgia involved. Like I do associate to the game when I listen to some of these things. I also just like that they were able to experiment and make those sounds their own.
Well, we talk about music a lot, and you've also said like you don't much care about lyrics. You're not a lyrics person. So like it would make sense that you're drawn more to the instrumental side of like game music, whereas I enjoy a good classical song, a good orchestral music. I listen to it a lot when I do certain things, but like I like lyrics.
Yeah.
I like when the lyrics touch me in a way, so it's like,
well, that's the
I'll
big
play a song and I'm like, I
factor
just really
why-
like the lyrics, even if I don't like how it sounds altogether. I like the lyrics.
And I'm going to say this slow because I usually fumble. It's why you like Lin-Manuel Miranda and I don't. Because
To an
he
extent,
doesn't really
yeah.
have a melody with his
No,
pieces.
he's very much a beat and lyrics. Because
so I'm just like, eh.
yeah. Whereas like
I'm going to pull out Your Mother. It's like,
No, it's cool that you like it. It's great. But like, me personally, not a fan.
my mom would have been like, for me, it's crap. Not that you're crap. But
there you go. You did it better.
and it's not like he's not one of my favorites because there is the thing that all of his music tends to sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like it still.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because you're more about the melody and I'm more about the beat.
The beat and the lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Just got impaled by his little horn there. Well, how do you like being on fire?
I'm on fire!
Well, we lost a Lazulis knight there.
Oh, no.
Okay, cool. So I can revive
Did you get...
just regular knights and mages as well.
Oh, I thought you just, like, took his soul or something.
Nah, that was some pickup from the Gurak.
I think that could be a fun concept.
What?
Like, if not your team, but, like, comrades that you don't control that aren't necessarily on your team, if they die, you, like, collect their soul.
Oh, okay.
You can either, like, revive them or take their benefits
Interesting.
or something.
I feel like that would work for, and I'm just snowballing here, like a strategy game similar to like
Yeah.
Fire Emblem, to where like, so Fire Emblem has permadeath. So
Yeah.
a way around that is like if we did permadeath,
But
it would
you,
be like, okay, you have the option to revive them for an easier time, or you can absorb their soul
Yeah.
for like their skills or
Yeah.
equipment or stuff like
So
that.
I think that could be really cool.
That would be interesting.
That would
I'll have to
be-
jot that down
yeah.
as a note.
That would be cool. I was looking back on some notes that we wrote before of like the evil meter.
Yeah, I remember that
Have
too.
it kind of like combined the evil meter, like is taking a soul making you more evil?
I still have that note card. I should probably just put it in the drive and rip up the note card.
Maybe.
I did that a couple days ago. I'm like, I have all these note cards. Let me just type it out and
Yeah.
get rid of the note cards.
I love the
It's a
difference.
bloody
in-
mess.
You write everything on note cards, and I just take like a piece of scrap paper and fold it in half. So I have like a shit ton of like folded in half pages that
Mm-hmm.
they're all written in different directions. Like, cause I'll flip it over and then like fold it the other way, and like
Mm-hmm.
they're all written in weird directions. So
Zale, don't do anything rash.
Zale, don't do anything rash. What's the first thing he does?
rash. Cause I'm still playing at this point.
Yeah.
I did make it here.
Yeah, we're gonna fight Zangurak. For the sake of Lady Calista, draw your weapon. No, I like this fight because, like, for the most part, like, he's not intimidated, so he'll just,
No.
like, every once in a while throw a punch.
I love
but
that
for
he
the
just
most part, he
stands
just
there.
stands there.
Yeah.
So, what is your thought? Because this is a very common trope in fantasy, especially RPGs, about facing the villain or the antagonist early on and being incapable of beating him or beating them.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time it's a him. So
Yeah.
just because it's an easy thing to create. I don't mind it if it's done well.
Okay.
Like, the one thing that I don't necessarily like is when it goes on for so long that you use all your stuff.
Okay.
So, like, when you're fighting him, like, if you had the option to, like, heal or use extra things to make yourself stronger, or in the case of, like, Zelda, where your weapons break and you break all your weapons, and it's like, I don't like that
Okay.
when it goes on for so long that you use up all of your stuff.
Okay.
But, like, in this case, I don't mind it when you fight him and you're not using all of your stuff up, but, like, you
And
are
he just
taking...
backhand you a couple times,
Yeah.
and then we're on to
And
the
then
next
it's
bit.
like, because whenever you go back and you fight him again at the end and you're strong enough,
Mm-hmm.
I really, really like the idea of being able to see the growth of, like, everything that you've worked for throughout
Mm-hmm.
the game to get stronger. Because it's like that in Ys. Like I said last night when I was playing and I was, like, fighting those frog things, and I'm like, remember when these were, like, the big bad and you just had to avoid them because you couldn't win?
Yeah.
And then it's like, now I'm, like, just slaying them.
Yeah, you can just, like,
And it just
massacre
shows,
all of
like,
them.
oh, cool, like, I did actually get stronger. So to, like, go back and beat things that
It's
were...
a good feeling
Yeah.
when you're like, wow, I am making no progress, to just go back to a
And,
previous
yeah,
area and
and
just
then be like, oh,
annihilate
no, I definitely
everything.
did make some progress. It just kind of is like, oh. So I don't mind when you face the villain early on and lose miserably. As
Okay.
long as you're not wasting all of your stuff.
Yeah, as long as it, like, gets to the point of just like, hey, you
Yeah.
can't win this.
It lets,
This is mostly
it lets
story
you
purposes.
see, it lets you see, like, fuck, you are not gonna win. You're not strong enough yet. You have to get stronger.
Because at this point, like, some kind of, like, reaction, thanks to, like, Calista, we're able to damage him now.
Yeah.
Like the music surges and all that, but it's going to be cut short.
Our time is running out.
Lord Zangurak, they are preparing to fight the Lazulis. We must make haste.
Oh boy, that's a big gun.
Bring out the big guns.
So this is pre-rendered. I believe I explained this before, but like, see how the graphics are a lot more crisp?
Yeah.
It's not in-game, so the
Right.
game doesn't have to run, so it's called pre-rendered to where like,
They can make it cleaner and
Yeah,
sharper
they can make it
because
cleaner and
there's
sharper.
no alternative.
like that is the difference between like games that age and games that really don't, is you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Whereas early Final Fantasy was like, kind of like the pioneer era of pre-rendered, to where like you'll see this and be like, wow, this still looks really good. Then it goes to the game and you go, ugh.
Well, well, I know like the big issue that was in the gaming community, if I believe or if I remember correctly, was like a lot of the advertisements for games would be the pre-rendered stuff, and
Yup.
then you'd buy the game and it looked like shit.
Yep.
And people would just be really upset, like, this isn't what I saw. This isn't what
The
I wanted
trailer
to
and the
play.
advertisements would
Were
be
completely different.
all pre-rendered.
So it'd be like if I Am Setsuna looked like the game art,
Mm-hmm.
and then you buy it and it looks like the way it looks now, and you'd be like, well,
The little-
that's
the little
not.
dolls.
Yeah, that's not why I wanted it. Like, it felt very like underhanded.
Right. Whereas that kind of happened with I Am Setsuna, but it was just like people saw the art first, and then
Yeah.
they saw the trailer, and they were just like, oh.
I know for me, like, I do really, really love the artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and I absolutely adored the music. The music is the big reason why I wanted to play it, because
Same.
I just really, really like the music.
Yeah.
I thought it would be really interesting to see a game completely put together with piano
Yeah.
instead of like you just have this piano music playing all the time, and I just think that was a really, really cool choice.
It fits with that game. With
Yeah.
something that like Ys, I'd be like, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, there's times in Ys where you need the piano,
Well,
and
I
there's
feel
times
like
when you need the guitar.
the thing with Yeez is, because I remember that was the very first thing you told me is like, oh, Yeez, it's heavy metal.
Yeah.
Whereas I wouldn't consider it heavy metal. I would definitely consider it like metal rock,
Yes.
but not heavy metal. But
Well.
it is like a really cool sound
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
We're getting further and further away from Lazulis Island.
I don't know my shit.
Get to the cabins if we go along the
Well, I mean, there's so many subcategories of music anymore. It's like you have
That's fair.
metal, you have soft metal, you have heavy metal, you have black metal, you have death metal. And
Yeah.
it's like, my God, come on. Are people screaming or no? Like,
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Good point.
I had my
you have
eyes during all
soft
the
rock, you have
confusion.
hard rock, you have classic
Okay.
rock.
All right. So is this the point where you stopped playing?
Is this the boat?
Yes, we're on the boat now.
No, I went through the boat.
Oh, you went through the boat.
Yeah, I
Oh
went through
shit.
the boat.
All right, so we still got another episode.
Like I said, I played for a while.
Uh-huh.
What I find interesting was checking the time. Just to make sure it wasn't like, oh, we have 3 seconds left. I'm going to start a thought. What I find really interesting is watching you play it.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it more
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
than when I played it. I don't know if maybe I played it too early and I didn't really understand. Like, I still don't fully understand
Oh, there's a lot.
what needs
I'm not gonna lie.
what needs to be done, and I definitely didn't really like the controller.
Because like this is
having-
command
'cause-
mode.
Yeah, because like my two hands don't talk to each other.
Okay.
So trying to like get both hands to do what they need to do was really difficult for me.
Oh wow. Okay.
But even just seeing like you got to explore the library and you went into shops and like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do any of that.
Mm.
I literally wandered around and was like, well, this is dumb.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and secure the area.
So I do like it more watching it be played than me playing it myself.
Gotcha.
I still don't like the other characters. Like
Right.
that hasn't changed, but I do really like Zale. I do really like Lisa.
So I'll say this. For the next couple parts, it's mostly going to be Zale, Lisa, Dagrin, and a couple others.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be the full cast for
Yeah.
a while.
So it's like
So I'll just say it. We're
And
not going to
that's-
see Seren for a while.
yeah. And like that's what I was saying is like sometimes cuz you'll ask me all the time is like do you think I'd want to play the game after watching and doing a playthrough? And sometimes the answer is no.
Yes.
Like I don't think that I'm going to want to pick this game back up and play it after
Okay.
I get to watch it.
Yeah.
But I do have an appreciation
Mm-hmm.
even if I don't play it, because it's like that with Partners in Time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I want to pick up and play Partners in Time, but I'm really glad I got to see what the game was about.
Okay.
And then there are games where I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to play that. Mario Origami King. Like,
Yeah.
I do want to play that, and I do want to experience it for myself.
Well, there we go then.
But yeah, I definitely enjoy it more watching it than playing it.
Cool.
I think I was just way too confused trying
And
to
that's
play
okay.
it.
Like, there's going to be a lot of games that just are going to click with you, and a lot of
Yeah.
games that you're just like, nah.
Go and get help.
But considering how much time you spent with Yee so far, and you're still
Yeah.
not done,
To let Dagrin-
And
that's
I'm-
fine. You got
and I-
plenty
yeah.
to play still.
So, because you asked me last night, like, how long have I put into it? And I'm at about, like, the 50-hour mark, maybe a little bit more. And I still want to pick it up. I want to play, and I want to see what happens to the characters. So, and I think that that's a win. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not tired of it, even after playing it for as long as I have.
Yeah, there's very few RPGs that I can get 50 hours in and say that.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's RPGs that I like, but just after 50 hours, I'm just like, all right, where's the ending?
Yeah. Well, keeping in mind, like, I think when you play Ys, you're probably not, well, I know you're not going to be as long as I am because I wander a lot
Yeah,
because
we'll
I
see.
don't know what I'm doing. So I, like, will spend an hour in an area that you blaze through in 20 minutes.
You know I'm a lad
We'll
on this
see.
island to through and
All right, folks, in the next part, we're going to take back the ship.
The ship.
It'll all be okay
Toodles!
soon.